Throughout the history of mankind, there have been over 25 global pandemics, all of which impact the environment around us in some way, shape, or form. Although all pandemics have negative lasting impacts on our environment, the positive benefits far outweigh the drawbacks. In this video, we will look at the pros and cons of the effects on our environment during a global pandemic, as well as how mankind's interactions with the environment can increase the chance of a global pandemic. The most recent occurring pandemic is COVID-19. The COVID-19 virus is widely believed that it began in bats and spread to humans. The disease began in Wuhan, China, in a black market, and rapidly spread to the rest of the world within a matter of months. The virus is a respiratory disease that has the same side effects as the common cold or flu, such as a cough, shortness of breath, and a high fever. The fatal disease could be easily mistaken for one of the two if not properly treated. COVID-19 was declared a pandemic on March 11, 2020. During this time, people all around the world began to quarantine themselves in their homes and out of the environment to stop the spread of the virus. As humanity took itself out of the environment, we began to see some changes. The changes were both good and bad. Let's begin with the benefits. The first environmental benefit to COVID-19 can easily be seen in Italy's canals. The water in Italy's canals appears to be clearer than it has in hundreds of years. The clear water is a result of the absence of boats in the canals. The boats' engines would pollute the water and kick up sand, dirt, and mud sitting on the floor of the canals. This action would make for murky, polluted water. Furthermore, because of mankind's absence in nature, the wildlife is coming back. Dolphins are actually swimming in the once polluted but now clear waters of the Italian canals. The dolphins were seen swimming in the port of the capital city, Cagliari, of Sardinia. There were also white swan sightings and multiple different types of fish swimming in the canals of Italy that make very rare to little appearances in the large country filled with people. As Italy remains quiet, the wildlife can appear livelier with each coming day. The second environmental benefit can be seen on the Tampa Beach shores in Florida. Because there are no longer humans crowding the beaches in Florida, the sea turtle population is taking this year to thrive. The beaches in Tampa Bay are some of the most densely populated areas for leatherback and loggerhead sea turtles. As the eggs hatch this year, 2020, the surrounding towns and cities are quiet and there are no humans to disturb the baby sea turtles from getting to the ocean from the beach on which their eggs were laid. Also, the lights which confused the sea turtles once they hatched, that were often around due to human activity, are no longer there, making it a place where the turtles are able to flourish freely. A third and final environmental benefit of COVID-19 is the decreased pollution rates. Places all around the world that once greatly battled pollution are being given a break to breathe and let their cities' air filter out. The dramatic drop in pollution levels can be seen by looking at the charts from previous years, as well as just looking out your window. An air quality technology company in Switzerland measured the deadliest of air pollutants, also called PM2.5, in 10 of the largest cities before and during or after the spread of the pandemic, and the changes were drastic. New Delhi's air pollution in India fell a staggering 60%. In Seoul in South Korea, the pollution rates decreased by 54%, and in Wuhan, China, the air pollution dropped 44%. The decrease in air pollution around the world is making the stars more visible at night and the skies more blue. The people in India are also able to see the Himalayan mountains for the first time in years. Although there are many environmental benefits to mankind undergoing a pandemic, they are followed by a few environmental drawbacks. To start, the rebound that the environment may undergo after the end of COVID-19 may result in worse circumstances than what we had prior to the virus. The reason being is climate change. Climate change is another one of the large problems that humanity faces. In 2020, there were to be several international meetings set up to discuss the impending problem of climate change, including the United Nations Climate Summit, which was supposed to occur this November. Representatives from 196 countries were planning on attending the conference, which was postponed until further notice because of the coronavirus. However, if these issues are not soon resolved, they could do permanent damage to the environment around us. COVID-19 is disrupting and uprooting many other environmental decrees and commitments that have been made prior to the outbreak. A second environmental drawback is that there has been a decrease in recycling since the start of the virus, and an increase in medical waste, and waste in general. Many working in recycling centers fear that the virus could spread throughout their work, and therefore they have shut down. Some cities have stopped the flow of recycling altogether until COVID-19 is completely under control. Other areas of the world, namely Italy, have prevented those affected with the virus from disposing of any waste they may have. Also, since COVID-19 has begun, several businesses throughout the world have encouraged shoppers and stores to use one-use bags for their groceries rather than their own reusable bags, since the bags that people bring into the stores may harbor bacteria. The increase in medical waste has been huge as hospitals have been treating multiple extra patients with the virus. A hospital in Wuhan, China has generated 6 times as much medical waste as they did before the outbreak. The last outbreak that we will discuss connects to what we've learned in our ESF class. A final environmental negative that comes with COVID-19 is the impact that will be made on sustainability. Sustainability can be defined as a society that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. As businesses and companies around the world, and just in the US alone, have begun to find a good neutral between remaining environmentally sustainable and succeeding economically, COVID-19 has threatened their entire existence. We can see this in the government's actions towards businesses as they are easing up on pollution regulations to allow businesses to try to stay open during this hard time. They give companies the right to give off excessive amounts of pollution from their workplace in an attempt to survive this pandemic. Finally, we will discuss how mankind's interactions with the environment can increase the chance of a global pandemic. Many believe that the COVID-19 virus jumped from bats to humans. However, in order for a disease to jump from an animal host to a human host, it had to have morphed in some way. Throughout the years, mankind has been changing his dynamics with animals. One way he has been doing this is through deforestation. Deforestation steals the homes from many animals and making them more vulnerable to the human society. By tearing apart whole ecosystems and disrupting the entire ecosphere, wild animals find ways to emerge into the human population because they have nowhere else to go. An event such as the deforestation of the tropical rainforest and converting it into something to be used for agricultural yield has found to be associated with 30% of the new and emerging diseases